the biggest shot of John Wall's career.
26 points in one of the defining games of his career. John Wall calls it a career.
When we talk about basketball's most electrifying players, there are only a handful of names that immediately pop up. Some were dominant scorers, others dazzling passers, and some combined sheer athleticism with heart-stopping speed. One player who embodied all of these qualities was John Wall. Before we begin, make sure to like this video, subscribe to NBA Showdown, and hit the notification bell so you do not miss any of our deep dive stories on NBA legends. Now let's start with where it all began. At his peak, John Wall was considered one of the fastest players to ever dribble a basketball. While most players naturally slow down when carrying the ball full court, Wall was different. He could maintain track-level speed with the ball in his hands, and that made him nearly impossible to contain in transition. Opponents had to account for his burst at all times because once he crossed half court, he could attack the basket within seconds. This defining trait set him apart early in his career and became the trademark of his game. Wall's journey in the NBA began when he was selected first overall in the 2010 draft by the Washington Wizards. That selection was meant to mark the beginning of a new era for the franchise. Washington needed a face to build around, and Wall was pegged as that cornerstone. He brought energy, youth, and charisma to a team that had been lacking identity. For 9 seasons, he carried the mantle of the team's starting point guard, and for much of that stretch, he was the heartbeat of basketball in the nation's capital. His announcement of retirement after 11 seasons at the age of 34 closes a chapter that fans in Washington and around the NBA will not soon forget. It is important to remember that Wall's prime was not just about the statistics he produced, but about the way he played the game. Every night he was a threat to go coast to coast and make the highlight play. His speed created open looks for teammates, allowed him to finish through contact, and electrified home crowds in Washington. Wall's relationship with the city of Washington became special because he was not just an athlete. He became a figure of resilience and determination. Injuries eventually slowed him down, but in his prime, he was exactly what fans wanted in a franchise point guard. While his retirement might feel like the end of an era, it also serves as the perfect time to celebrate what he gave to basketball. He was a once-in-a-generation athlete whose career reminds us that speed combined with skill can be a spectacle in itself.
Prime, few were as fast with the ball than John Wall. Slowed down a little bit when dribbling the basketball, but not Wall, who announced he is retiring after 11 seasons at the age of 34.
For 9 of those seasons, he was DC's point guard, taken first overall in 2010.
When we assess Wall's career, it is important to look beyond the lofty expectations of being a first overall pick and focus on the consistency he provided. He may not have been the savior that completely transformed the Wizards into title contenders, but he was a reliable producer every single night. For much of his career, fans could count on him to give around 18 points and 8 assists a game. Those numbers represented more than just output. They represented balance. Wall was never selfish with the ball. He understood the responsibility of being a point guard and made it his mission to involve teammates while still being able to score when the team needed it. But statistics alone cannot capture what he truly was. He was a highlight reel every single time he stepped on the court. With Wall, you always had the chance of seeing something that made you jump out of your seat. Whether it was a coast-to-coast dunk, a dazzling behind-the-back pass, or a chase-down block, he delivered the type of excitement that made Wizards games must-watch television. Fans did not just follow him for the box score. They tuned in because they never knew what magical moment he might create next. The human highlight reel label captures exactly what made Wall so loved. He brought entertainment to a franchise that needed it and created memories for a fan base that had long been searching for consistent thrills. His flair for the dramatic meant that even in games where the Wizards were not competing for championships, the experience of watching Wall was enough to keep fans engaged. Wall's reliability and entertainment value solidified his reputation across the league. Coaches respected his ability to control the pace of the game. Players respected his competitiveness. Fans respected his determination to always put on a show. That combination of reliability and excitement defined much of his career and is a key reason why his retirement has triggered so much reflection. He may not have carried the Wizards to the promised land, but he gave them identity and relevance at a time when they needed it most.
He wasn't quite the Wizards franchise savior, but what he was, a nightly 18-8 guy, a human highlight reel, and must watch every single time he touched the ball.
One of the best ways to measure greatness is through individual nights where everything clicks and a player delivers an unforgettable performance. For John Wall, that night came on December 6, 2016 when he faced the Orlando Magic. On that evening, Wall recorded a career high in scoring with 52 points. What made it so special was not just the number itself, but the efficiency he displayed. He connected on 18 of 31 shots and showcased every tool in his offensive arsenal. For much of his career, Wall was known primarily for speed and play playmaking. But this game demonstrated just how skilled he had become as a scorer. He was hitting jumpers, getting to the rim, drawing fouls, and maintaining composure throughout. It was not a fluke performance, but rather the culmination of years of refining his craft. Fans and analysts alike recognized that this game placed Wall among the most dangerous guards in the league. The 52-point explosion became a reminder that Wall could carry the scoring load when necessary. His critics often said he relied too much on his athleticism and did not have the scoring touch of elite guards, but this night silenced them. Dropping over 50 in an NBA game is something few players ever accomplish. Doing it with efficiency and confidence is what elevated the performance from great to legendary. Moments like this stand as milestones in a career. For Wall, this game validated the work he put in behind the scenes and gave fans a glimpse of his ceiling as an offensive threat. While his career was filled with highlight passes and fast break finishes, this night was about pure scoring brilliance. It demonstrated that John Wall was not just a blur with the ball, but also a complete player capable of dominating an entire defense single-handedly.
Wall got sent 27 dunks in the YouTube video.
Total came on December 6, 2016 against the Magic. 52 points on 18 of 31 shooting.
Following that incredible 52-point performance, Wall continued to show that he could not only score, but also create history. In that game, he recorded 5 made three-pointers and converted 11 free throws, finishing with 33 of his points coming in the second half alone. That second half total was the most points scored in a half by a Wizards player since Earl Monroe dropped 56 back in 1968. That fact placed Wall in elite company, linking his name with one of the most revered players in franchise history. What made the night even more impressive was that Wall did not abandon his duties as a playmaker. Alongside his 52 points, he also registered 8 assists, proving that he could shoulder both the scoring and facilitating responsibilities. That balance was a microcosm of his entire career. Even when chasing personal records, he never forgot his primary role as a point guard. This scoring eruption set the stage for the 2017 playoffs, where Wall carried the Wizards with momentum and confidence. The regular season had already displayed his ability to explode offensively, and the postseason offered him the platform to showcase those skills under even brighter lights. Fans looked at Wall entering those playoffs as a leader who could potentially push Washington into the deeper rounds of competition. The 52nd point night remains one of the signature games of Wall's career. It combined history, efficiency, playmaking, and leadership into one unforgettable performance. It reminded fans and analysts that John Wall was more than just speed. He was a complete offensive package, capable of matching the output of any guard in the league. As the Wizards prepared for the 2017 postseason, the echoes of that performance fueled belief in what Wall could accomplish when everything aligned.
5 three-pointers, 11 free throws, 33 of the 52 came in franchise history since Earl the Pearl had 56 in 1968, 8 assists as well.
John Wall's first-round series against Atlanta in the playoffs is a perfect encapsulation of what made him such an electrifying player. From the very tip-off of that matchup, he demonstrated the rare combination of speed, athleticism, and basketball IQ that made him a nightmare for defenders. His ability to operate as a blur in transition allowed him to take advantage of defensive lapses and create scoring opportunities seemingly out of nowhere. In one sequence, Wall went coast to coast with such precision and speed that he finished with a behind-the-back maneuver and a ferocious dunk over Cam Bazemore. Plays like this were not just highlight reels for fans. They were game-changers, moments that could swing a series. His explosiveness forced the Hawks to adjust their entire defensive scheme, often leaving them scrambling to contain him. Perhaps most importantly, his leadership was on full display. Wall was a player who led by example, inspiring confidence in teammates through his relentless effort and fearless play. That particular play against Bazemore symbolized Wall's commitment to taking over when the team needed him most. It demonstrated that he could handle pressure, perform under intense scrutiny, and deliver in critical moments. Over the course of 6 games, the Wizards prevailed, and Wall's consistency in these high-pressure situations cemented his reputation as a player who could not only perform spectacularly, but also help his team advance in meaningful ways. This first-round victory over Atlanta became a defining chapter in Wall's career. The series showcased the peak of his physical talents and reinforced the narrative that when he was in rhythm, he could dominate a game single-handedly. Fans would forever remember the sheer athleticism, timing, and force he brought to the court during that series, moments that were emblematic of his career trajectory and why he became synonymous with electrifying guard play in the modern NBA.
Bang. First round in Atlanta. Wall goes full court blur. Switch hands behind the back and throw it down on Kent Bazemore. He just got everything done in that play. Speed and power. They beat the Hawks in 6.
few weeks later, Wall proved that his playoff heroics were far from a one-off event. In Game 6 of the Eastern Conference semifinals, the Wizards found themselves down by 2 points with just 7 seconds remaining. In that moment of intense pressure, Wall exemplified what it meant to be a clutch performer. With the weight of the game on his shoulders, he calmly pulled up from the right wing and sank a critical three-pointer to put Washington ahead. The poise and confidence he exhibited in that moment reflected not only his skill but also his mental toughness. Making such a high-pressure shot is a hallmark of elite players, but for Wall, it was a culmination of his years of work, preparation, and understanding of the game's nuances. The shot also reinforced Wall's identity as a player capable of doing it all: scoring, playmaking, controlling the pace, and stepping up in the most critical moments. It is a defining characteristic of a legacy-level player and adds a layer of depth to how his career is evaluated. Wall's career, marked by speed and spectacular plays, also included moments of precise execution under pressure. These moments proved he was not just an entertainer, but a competitor who could carry the weight of his team on his shoulders when it mattered most.
6 Eastern Conference semifinals. Wizards down 91-89. 7 seconds to go.
John Wall called.
The defining moment that would ultimately bookend Wall's career came in the same Eastern Conference series, where he once again demonstrated his cold-blooded nature as a player. Scoring 26 points in a pivotal game, he delivered one of the most significant shots of his career. This was a moment that highlighted everything fans had come to respect about him: his courage, his offensive prowess, and his ability to execute under intense pressure. Beyond the statistics, this moment symbolized Wall's unwavering commitment to performing at the highest level when the stakes were most critical. This final chapter in Wall's career allowed fans and analysts alike to reflect on the sum of his contributions. His decision to retire after delivering these defining moments emphasizes the integrity and timing with which he approached his career. Wall never sought unnecessary attention, but let his performances and dedication speak for themselves. This final shot and his role in that pivotal game captured the essence of his playing style: fearless, dynamic, and consistently clutch. This cold-blooded performance also encapsulates the culmination of a career spent perfecting the balance between entertainment and efficacy. He could dazzle fans with spectacular plays while simultaneously delivering in moments that truly mattered. That duality defines Wall's legacy: a player who could mesmerize an audience and lead his team to success under pressure. As he steps away from professional basketball, this defining shot serves as a reminder of why John Wall will be remembered as one of the most electrifying point guards of his generation.
The biggest shot of John Wall's career.
26 points in one of the defining games of his career. John Wall calls it a career.
As he steps away from professional basketball after 11 seasons, the NBA loses one of its fastest, most electrifying guards. John Wall's career leaves an indelible mark on the league, reminding fans and players alike that speed, skill, and heart can define a legacy just as much as championships. His retirement is not an end to the excitement he brought, but an opportunity to reflect on a career filled with unforgettable moments, unwavering dedication, and a standard of athletic excellence that will inspire future generations of point guards for years to come. John Wall's rise, peak, and retirement remind us that in basketball, greatness comes not only from talent, but from the ability to perform consistently, lead fearlessly, and deliver when it matters most. His career will forever serve as a benchmark for what it means to be one of the fastest and most impactful players with the basketball in the history of the NBA.